Amazing Turkey. Slowly and carefully, the turtle makes its way through the leaves and stones to the water. In a minute, this turtle overcomes no more than 100 yards. His slowness allows us to better see the beauty of the surrounding nature in the canyon. Canyons are natural wonders of our world that attract nature lovers, photographers, and adventure enthusiasts. These are deep valleys and narrow gorges created by rivers that have been carving limestone patches on the surface of the earth for hundreds of thousands of years. Only a few people know that Turkey, famous for its resorts and coasts, is called by the locals a paradise in the canyon. After all, there are more than 50 large and small canyons popular among tourists, opening fascinating panoramas for checkups. One of the youngest, and therefore not well known, is the Göynük Canyon of Antalya, which is open to visitors since 2009. This is a monument that nature pitched to itself. The canyon is formed on karst rocks, the height of which in some places reaches 1,148 feet. The rocks of the canyon are characterized by a wide range of colors, from dark green to light red and white. The gorge is rich in small waterfalls, which shimmer with all the colors of the rainbow on a sunny day. A river with a bluish-blue tint of water flows through the canyon. The place is very picturesque and seems created specifically for panoramic photography. Family walks with children, as well as hiking and sports tourism, are popular here because of the famous Lycian Way passes through the canyon. This is a 310-mile-long route specially created for an easy procession and recognized as one of the best in the world. Therefore, in addition to visitors who went to the Göynük Canyon to look at nature, you can meet groups of tourists who follow this route along the mountains of the Lycian coast. The first impression from the review of the canyon is a delight. These wonders of nature are formed over millions of years under the influence of sandstone erosion. Plentiful torrents of rain and wind work here. The layered structure of the walls arose as a result of floods. Canyons can be filled with water during rapid and heavy downpours. The water comes off slowly and forms lines and stripes on the surface of the walls. There are also historical canyons in Turkey, where entire settlements were located hundreds of years ago. One of them can be found near the stone town of Göreme in Cappadocia. Today, restaurants, shops, open-air markets, and hotels are carelessly waiting for visitors here. 1- and 2-story houses are built without a reinforced concrete frame from natural stone. No plastic or even air conditioners. The houses have a flat roof, on which they put landscaping or solar panels. Göreme is a settlement where 2,000 citizens live. However, this particular town is the heart of Cappadocia, where the wonders of nature and the mysteries of history intersect. The region has been inhabited since prehistoric times. During the Bronze Age, The first tunnels and man-made caves carved into the rocks already existed here. The ancient Greek historian Xenophon, in his work Anabasis, wrote about people from Anatolia who built their houses underground. Building houses underground or in the rocks allowed a special type of stone, tuff, a soft volcanic rock ejected from a crater during a volcanic eruption. After contact with the air, the tuff hardens and turns into a very strong building material. Since the landscape of Cappadocia is not rich in forests and trees, there was little material for construction, so people chose simpler and more suitable ways to build housing. Thanks to the abundance of tufa stone and its light finish, craftsmanship unique to the region have developed and have become an architectural tradition. It was possible to dig a dungeon in this rock formation and hide from the invaders. But such giant stone towers that resemble a mushroom are called peribalcalars in Turkey. They can be connected by secret passages, and in some places, they even form entire underground cities, in which at one time, up to 10,000 people could hide. Since the 4th century AD, such stone pillars have become an ideal shelter for ascetics. After several centuries, there were more and more people, and real stone cities from tufa arose from these places. Even today, the people of Göreme use this stone for construction. And although they do not live in the rocks, they make modern extensions to stone pillars, and the caves are used as barns. The rock dwellings of Göreme, which form a whole open-air park, as an example of human existence in the 4th century AD, are included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. Ancient rock settlements have been created throughout Cappadocia. They can also be found 80 kilometers from Göreme, in the Elara Valley. If Göreme is considered the heart of Cappadocia, then this place is the pearl of the region. Some travelers call the Elara Valley a smaller copy of the American Grand Canyon, although the height of the rocks here do not exceed 328 feet. In this area behind the city of Göreme, the largest number of cave dwellings is located. All of them belong to the period between the 9th and 12th centuries. It is believed that more than 4,000 families lived in the valley during different periods. There are several theories on the formation of this gorge. Some geologists claim that the Melendis stream, which runs through the valley, carved a huge canyon with its waters. Other researchers are sure that the origin of this amazing canyon was volcanic. According to the third version, the canyon was formed from layers of lava, ash, and tuff from 2 extinct volcanoes, and the river punched a narrow, winding valley in the soft rocks of the stone. Erosion has turned the rocks of the canyon into mushroom-shaped ledges, and as a result, the unrivaled canyon of the Elara Valley has turned out. This is one of the most visited places among travelers who go to Cappadocia. The landscape here is also unusual. The dense vegetation of the valley differs from the plateau typical of Cappadocia. A strip of green seemed to be hidden in the depths of the canyon. This green oasis was created thanks to a stream that has 26 bends and flows into a salt lake. It nourishes the plant diversity of the valley. Here you can relax perfectly under the singing of birds and the murmur of a mountain river. it is worth visiting the Green Canyon in the Taurus Mountains of Antalya. This emerald canyon offers birdwatching tours, nature walks, and riverboat excursions. Fishing is also common. Mullet and sea bass live in the reservoir. Features of underground sources give a rich color to the lake, in which the water temperature is stable year-round, approximately 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The pristine beauty of the mountains that seem to rise from the turquoise water and the lush vegetation create an amazing sight. The amazing shape and color of the rocks, covered with greenery and reflected in the aquamarine water, will allow you to penetrate into the world of almost mythical beauty. Here reigns inexorable peace and serenity. Depending on the season, olive groves, tangerines, pomegranates, or oranges can be seen in bloom. The canyon is located in the arched Oynapener Dam with 600-foot walls. This is a strategic object, the 5th largest dam in Turkey and the most artificial reservoir in this country. Not far from the dam, you can see a historical artifact, a side aqueduct built in the era of the Roman Empire. Waterfalls, as well as canyons, are another treasure of Turkey. There are many of them here, both large and popular among tourists, and smaller ones, but no less beautiful. Most often, waterfalls can be found in nature reserves or national parks. Among them, there is the 18-meter Kusindler waterfall in Antalya inside the canyon. In the late 80s, this area was turned into a park and open to visitors. The main waterfall flows into a pond 16 to 19 feet deep. In total, 7 small ponds are interconnected by small waterfalls. The rich flora and fauna have made this place one of the priorities for ecotourism. Hikes to explore plants and observe birds and animals are popular here. Walking through the natural park, you can meet rabbits, squirrels, martins, woodpeckers, ducks, turtles, and other small animals and birds. Unlike Kurşunlu, which is located in the park, another waterfall in Antalya, Upper Düden, is located 8 kilometers from urban developments. It flows into the Mediterranean Sea from cliffs 131 feet high. There are legends that the commander Alexander the Great in the 2nd century BC ordered to water his horses in this place. Now, this is a favorite place for Antalya residents to relax, have picnics, and contemplate the waterfall from the observation deck. The nature of Turkey opens up differently for travelers every time. You can explore it on foot, by car or quad bike, or from a height in a hot air balloon. And every time you see a completely different Turkey. The first balloons for tourists began to fly in Cappadocia in early 1990s. The flight usually lasts from 45 minutes to an hour and a half and starts at sunrise. It is at this time of day that calm and cool weather provides comfortable and stable movement, smooth landing, and maximum lift. This time is also the best for photography. The beautiful beauty of the sunrise gives contrasting, exceptional colors. Because balloons move in the direction of the wind, each flight is unique and different from the next. If you are flying low, you can see every detail on the ground. Often, flights start from the height of a tree and climb up to several hundred meters. The height is determined by the climatic conditions of a particular day. Most flights are made in the range of 16 to 3,280 feet. The limits set by the Turkish Civil Aviation Authority regarding the maximum height that balloons can take off are 5,905 feet on weekdays and 8,202 feet on weekends. At the same time, up to 100 balls can rise into the air here. By the way, the world record for the largest number of balloons in the air was set in France in 2013 at the festival. Then, at the same time, a record 408 balloons rose into the sky. The movement of the balloon is due to the wind. The pilot raises or lowers the balloon and thus changes the air layers, capturing different wind directions. The same method is used when lowering a balloon. It's like traveling in 3 dimensions. The pilot raises and lowers the balloon by changing the air temperature inside the aircraft. Cappadocia companies also offer private tours. In a wicker basket hanging in the air, you can celebrate special moments, birthdays, anniversaries, marriage proposals, or just surprise a loved one. Balloons are the most elegant and romantic way to look at the Earth from above. And it is also the most ancient way of flying. You can very clearly see the differences in texture on the surface of the Earth. While being in the balloon, you can even hear the birds singing. After the start of flying, neither trembling nor wind is felt as the balloon moves along with the air currents. The basket hangs static in the air. Even in an elevator, you will feel a stronger movement than in a balloon basket. Tourists describe their experience as a gentle and peaceful flight over the treetops or high in the sky and a feeling of peace. There is no fear of heights. Being in a basket suspended under a hot air balloon is not the same as being on the edge of a cliff. Experienced pilots say that even the most nervous passengers with a fear of heights do not feel problems through this entire route. It is advised to take a camera, a hat, and sunglasses with you. During the flight, tourists contemplate the Valley of Love from above. This is one of the most famous and frequently visited valleys of Göreme, 3 miles long. The stone towers of the Valley of Love are called one of the 7 wonders of Turkey. They were formed due to natural factors. Wind, flood, and rain washed away the rocks, forming pillars with a diameter of 3 to 49 feet. Here, nature worked as a sculptor and invented original forms. The Valley of Love is a mecca for honeymoon and wedding photo shoots. Lovers willingly pose against the backdrop of amazing white rocks with smooth curves, as if a white cloth was thrown over them. If you're a fan of extreme paragliding and want to tickle your nerves and see the beauty of nature at speed the way birds see it, then you need to go to the southwestern part of Turkey, to the legendary thermal springs of Pamukkale. It means cotton castle in Turkish. From afar, these snow-white terraces really resemble cotton. This natural spa was created thanks to a special type of limestone, rich in mineral deposits of travertine, mainly calcium. Pamukkale is located above a fault line that causes frequent earthquakes. From this crack in the ground, thermal waters reach the surface and create hot springs. Hot springs deposit calcium on terraces. Over time, the water dries up and the calcium hardens, leaving such a cotton castle of a perfectly white color. Thousand-year-old calcium deposits layered on top of each other create amazing travertine pools, which attract millions of tourists. There are 17 hot springs here. At any time of the year, the water temperature in them remains at 96.8 degrees Fahrenheit. There are several legends that the Egyptian Queen Cleopatra liked to visit these natural pools in the middle of the 1st century BC. These travertine pools are a geological phenomenon known centuries ago. Pamukale has been a popular tourist destination since ancient Roman times. They have been used for hundreds of years for relaxation, similar to modern spa resorts. The pools are recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Near Pamukkale, the remains of the ancient city of Hierapolis was found. Thousands of years ago, respected and wealthy people came from far and wide to spend time at the local healing resorts. Because of this, the necropolis of Hierapolis is filled with monumental tombs decorated with different architectural styles. Such remnants of the Greco-Roman period make this important historical site unique for new exploration and discovery. Hierapolis became a Hellenistic spa town and reached the peak of its popularity in the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. Here you can see the remains of the termes, the ruins of a temple, a monumental arch, a nymphaeum, a necropolis, and a fabulous theater. The Hierapolis open-air theater is located on a slope, so it offers breathtaking views of the whole of Pamukkale. Not only the ancient Romans or Greeks loved to relax and comfort at the resorts in these places thousands of years ago, modern tourists also adore the resorts of this region. The village of Adrasan in Antalya stretches along a 1-mile distance of coast, mainly consisting of sand and pebbles. This coastal part of the region seems to be created for the tourism industry. Visibility in these waters can be up to 82 feet on a clear day, making the area popular with swimmers and snorkelers. It is a quiet area, free from the noise of the big city, pollution, and the worries and stresses of everyday life. Sandy beaches, blue lagoons, and spectacular views from the hill make the bay an ideal place to get positive energy from the sun, enjoy the fresh air, and the incredible smell of pine forests, combined with citrus groves. The peculiarity of the bay is that its shallow water and coziness, thanks to the forests around. The shallow sea attracts non-swimmer tourists, as well as families with children. Another feature of the bay is its vast territory. The bay, 1.6 miles long, allows you to organize various events. Here they arrange water skiing and boating. You can go surfing or diving. There is a predominantly westerly wind blowing from land to sea. A bay with the features of a natural harbor, calm and without waves, like a lake. Another relatively virgin resort in Antalya is the small fishing and yachting colorful town of Kaz. It is located on a hill that slopes down to the turquoise coast of southwestern Turkey. The area has a typical Mediterranean climate, with dry, hot summers and mild, wet winters, allowing oranges, lemons, and bananas to grow. The plains are also lined with flowers, fruit trees, and vegetables. On the slopes of the hills, almonds are grown and apiaries are maintained, and pine forests extend at high altitudes. Although agriculture is still important to the locals, tourism is the main source of income. But in the Roman Empire, this settlement served as an important seaport. The combination of beautiful natural landscapes and small villages and towns, as if hidden in forests or valleys, distinguishes Turkey. There are even historical sites right in the Mediterranean Sea. For example, 656 yards from the coast in the province of Mersin, there are the remains of the old castle, Kiz Kalesi. It was built on a small island in 1199. From the record found, it is known that the owner of the castle was a nobleman named Leon I. The majestic building is called the Sea or Maiden's Castle. The 3-kilometer sandy coast of Çıralı, in the province of Antalya, rises above the sea along a gentle slope. It is surrounded by rocks on both sides. In winter, temperatures almost never drop below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But in the middle of summer, after a long spring period, it reaches hot 113 degrees. The beach reaches a width of several 32 feet, and in some places expands to hundreds. There is relatively little infrastructure, so even in the high season, there are no crowds of tourists on the coast. The bottom is clean, without stones, but the depth increases sharply. For those who are not confident on the water, care must be taken here. The sea at this resort is not always clear. This coast is a breeding ground for the Loggerhead Sea Turtles. They never come ashore except to lay eggs. The rare turtles like the place. After all, they travel thousands of kilometers to lay their eggs on this beach. Their masonry is hidden in the sand, and the location is marked with a protective basket and a sign. Sea turtles appear on the shore only at night. It can be considered a great success if you meet the moment of the birth of the turtles and their first descent to the sea. Typically, loggerheads lay their eggs in June, and the young hatch in early August. Sea turtles are also home to Patara Beach in Antalya. It is 11 miles of golden sands, surrounded by the dunes and the Taurus Mountains. The coast is called one of the most beautiful and pristine beaches in the Mediterranean. There is no building here, only endless golden sands, surrounded by nature. Potara Beach is so big that it never gets crowded. The sand dunes are located near the ancient city of Patara, whose history goes back to the 8th century BC. The beach got its name from the settlement. According to legend, the city was founded by the son of Apollo, Patar, together with a water nymph, Lycia. By the way, Saint Nicholas, known as Santa Claus, is also considered to be from Patara. Patara Beach is world famous for its gigantic golden sands that form picturesque sand dunes on the edge of pine forests. It's a great place to watch the sun go down. The dunes are formed during a storm and change shape, taking into account the surrounding nature. This area is protected for rare birds. In some ways, these sands resemble the deserts of Egypt. Entrepreneurs even organize horse and camel safaris for tourists through shallow sand dunes. But one of the most titled beaches in Turkey is the coast of İzmit in the province of Muğla. The 2.8-mile-long Mediterranean beach is very rare, as it is located between sea and fresh water. The beach was named Turtle because sea turtles also like to lay their eggs here. However, unlike other coasts, there is a treatment center for injured reptiles. İzmit Beach has received many international awards for its conservation and cleanliness. It has been repeatedly recognized as the best open space in Europe and the best European beach. Experts at such competitions noted that İzmit Beach is a rare place in the Mediterranean. These are miles of golden sand, stretching from a pine-covered mountain to the mouth of a river where not a single house, shop, or hotel can be found. Ecologists' effort to protect turtles are also noted. The number of sea turtles is steadily increasing on this coast. During the summer months, the beach is closed from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. to avoid disturbing the turtles. You cannot turn on the light at this time and make noise. Students from a local university help protect sea turtles. They look for turtle nests, mark them with a special mark or flag so that tourists can see this place and not inadvertently damage it. students also bring injured turtles to the center for treatment if they see them. The western part of this sandy beach can be reached by boats, while the eastern part can be reached by road. If you prefer privacy, this place is perfect for you. In ancient times, there was no beach here. In 226 BC, a giant earthquake changed the course of the stream. Waves pulled sand to the shore, where it gradually accumulated and formed a large sandy valley. The coast has been declared a natural reserve. Itsutsu Beach is somewhat changeable. Although it is quiet here in the morning, at noon, the beach begins to change. And in the afternoon, the waves become stronger. A gusty, strong wind is one of the features of Itsutsu. Sometimes the wind is warm and pleasant, and sometimes it can become cold. But the really cold and even winter mountain, Taktalidag, is the largest peak of the Taurus Mountains in the Olympus Bedaliary National Park. 7,762 feet high. It is also called the Lycian Olympus, in award of the ancient Lycian city of Olympus, the ruins of which lie along the coast. Interestingly, that more than 20 mountains and peaks in the world have the name Olympus, as well as some of the nearby towns and cities. The mighty peak is surrounded by a striking panorama of mountains, forests, and the sea. There are two ways to climb it: by cable car, starting from the foot, or by a steep hiking trail. On the mountain, from the observation deck, you can see the coastal national park, the Taurus Mountains, and the Mediterranean coast. In winter, the view of the snow-capped mountains is even more impressive. However, hiking in winter is recommended only for experienced climbers. The first snow falls on the mountain in November and lingers on the top of the mountain at high altitudes until the end of May. In spring, red fine sand, carried by southeast winds, reaches the high peaks of the mountains and thus announces the beginning of the warm months. Just below the Lycian Olympus, Mount Babadag in the province of Muğla. It has 3 peaks facing each other, and between them, there is a deep floodplain valley. The height of the largest peak is 6,460 feet, and the second is 4,593 feet. The mountains are very close to the sea, the distance to which does not exceed 3 miles. Proximity to the sea and mild climate predetermine the richness of plants on this mountain. In particular, at an altitude of 5,000 feet, wavy maples grow, which are found only in this region, as well as common cedar forests. There are 3 rare flowers that can only be seen on Mount Babadag and nowhere else in the world: Kyanadax forb, Stembergia, and Royal Cypress. Plants are protected. It is forbidden to pluck or take them out of Turkey. One of the most sensitive parts of the mountain is its summit, which consists of very narrow plateaus. Characteristic steep rocky and small rocky slopes have developed here. This region is also important for the refuge of birds. Eagles, golden eagles, and small shrikes live here. At the foot of the mountain is the Butterfly Valley, where more than 80 rare species of insects live. Building is prohibited in the valley, namely, the place is recognized as an important protected object. Turkey's national treasures are found in almost every region. The country is very rich in historical and landscape beauties. Here, ancient cities with traces of different civilizations are combined with magnificent nature at every step. The ancient architecture on these lands is also striking and was also based on natural features. Kizilkule, or Red Tower, is a unique example of medieval Mediterranean defensive structures of the 13th century. Built by an architect to protect the port of Alanya from attacks from the sea. This octagonal building is the symbol of Alanya and is depicted on its heraldry. Kizilkule was previously also on the reverse of the Turkish lira banknote. Also, the top of the mountain in the city of Ukasar on the outskirts of the Göreme National Park was turned into a fortification tower. The village is famous for its 200-foot Castle Hill. This is one of the highest points in Cappadocia. In ancient times, this peak was used for observation and shelter. When the Romans, Byzantines, and Ottomans ruled the region, Ukasar was used as an early warning system to protect against attacks from high places. The territory is dotted with underground passages and structures invisible to the eye. Even a secret tunnel leading to spring water was discovered. To date, all tunnels and passages are blocked for security reasons. And in Byzantine times, these secret passages served as a temporary home. Ukasar is especially impressive at night, with energy-saving lighting. The entire Cappadocia region is visible as if in the palm of your hand from a bird's eye view. Unique Turkey. A symphony of colors welcomes all visitors. With the blue of the Mediterranean, the green of a pine forest, and the impeccable white of traditional houses. Here, the sea, forest, and mountains converge at one point. Coves and small virgin natural harbors with yachts, fantastic cruise trips and photo tours, remains of Roman and Byzantine structures, beaches with clear sea water on white sand near the towns, combined with ancient settlements and strange caves, as well as prehistoric ruins. All this is an amazing country with amazing people. Anyone who has been here at least once will definitely come back. Turkey reveals its secrets and unknown places to those who open their hearts to it.